Hi, everybody. Welcome to the July 27th, 2020 Add-ons community meeting. We're here today joined by Sylvain and Luna. So thanks so much, Sylvain and Luna, for taking the time to be with us this morning. I wanted to start off this meeting by giving a shout out to contributor Danny Collin. Danny's been really helpful on our Matrix channel, helping socialize newcomers to our space and also helping answer questions. Danny, everybody on the team really appreciates the gentle and friendly way that you interact with folks on our synchronous chat channel. So thank you so much for sharing some of your friendliness and warmth with us. And then Luna, do you want to read your next one out?
Yeah, sure. I want to say thanks to Matt. He helped me on Matrix earlier today finding the staging site for the website, so I could easily find the context and stuff when I translate. So that's easier.
Very cool. Very cool. So thanks so much, Matt. All right, so if there's any other things that people want to add to the agenda, please feel free to do so. This is mostly going to be a lot of updates. So Firefox 79 goes into release this week, and we should start seeing the rollout happen today and tomorrow. So we have a couple of changes to the Web Extensions API in Firefox 79. Notably, there are some changes to the tab warmup API, and we've changed we ported the storage.sync area over to a new REST implementation. So the TLDR on that is that it now enforces client-side data quotas. So those are set by Firefox. We just want to let people know those client-side quotas weren't enforced before. So if your extension uses sync to share data across multiple devices from one account, or if your extension does that, you may want to take a look at that and just make sure that nothing is looking too crazy. We're also excited about the new REST implementation because it means that it's kind of sharing the same infrastructure as Firefox Sync. So it's kind of nice to just, from our perspective, to have kind of all of that code in one place and not in, not replicated in multiple places. So thanks to Luca for kind of leading the charge on that. There's going to be if the hacks blog post hasn't already gone up, you should be expecting it soon. That'll cover some of the other changes that we're expecting in Firefox 79 for the rest of the browser. We've just announced that Project Fission is coming soon. So Project Fission has been underway for probably a little over a year now. Fission is our project for Firefox site isolation. So what this means is that all processes are pretty much going to run separate from one another. So there are no major breaking changes to extensions that we know of at this time. There's a couple of things that we haven't supported for a while that people have been able to work around. Those are going to be going away pretty soon. And if you want to go ahead and flip some prefs, you can go ahead and test what Fission is going to be like. So you can check out this post on our forum by Zombie, one of our Web Extensions API engineers, for instructions on how to enable Fission on one of your pre-release channels of Firefox. And we're just going to keep an eye on things. Zombie is keeping an eye on things, other breakages that might occur for the Web Extensions API as this project continues to move forward. And we'll either blog publicly about those changes, depending on how many people they affect, or do individual outreach to developers whose extensions will be impacted by changes to Phoenix or to Fission. I'm sorry, everything starts with an F. The timeline for Fission is, so we've got these changes. So we've got some early changes right now rolling on behind a preference on our pre-release channels. We're not looking at rolling this forward until probably later to beta until probably later this year in 2020. We're not expecting this to roll into release until 2021 at the earliest. So folks whose extensions are impacted by the two early breaking changes that we've noticed, you do have some time to update your extension. We would prefer that you take a look at it sooner rather than later so that we can catch any bugs that may still be existing or help you find a workaround so that you're not scrambling at the end of the day. All right, any questions about Firefox 79 or Fission?
I didn't catch the, what is the size of the limitation for Firefox Sync, the API?
Oh, yeah, so that's set by the browser, and I can pull it up. Sorry, I don't know the numbers off of the top of my head, so we're just gonna have to go.
It's okay. I thought you said the number. I can search for it later.
Yeah. So let me just post a link to limits set here. Yeah. So Sylvain, when you're back from your walk, I posted a link to where it is in SearchFox.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Also, hi Sylvain or Siobhan. Oh my gosh, I'm striking out today. Siobhan, good to see you. Okay, so moving on. So Phoenix, which is our next generation Firefox for Android product, this has been underway for a year and a half, almost 2 years now. We're going to start rolling out the release and upgrading some Fennec users starting this week. So rollout is going to be really slow. Our first round is going to go to like 1.25% of the population. So if you're an Android user and you are currently running the Fennec Firefox for Android on like the release channel, there is a chance that if you are in one of the locales that we're going to be doing early rollouts to, there is a very small but still possible chance that you will be receiving the upgrade as early as this week. So this rollout is going to happen probably over the next 6 weeks. We are going to be throttling slowly just to make sure things are going okay, so that if we need to roll anything back or if we need to make any last minute updates, we can do that. But you'll probably start seeing more marketing about the new Firefox for Android experience on the release channel coming up later this month. So there's a couple of things that impact extensions about this that I just want everyone to be aware of, because there is a good chance that you're going to see this out there as people start getting the upgrade. One is that not all extensions are going to be supported at the time of this rollout. So currently we have 9 recommended extensions supported for Phoenix. There is a chance that support for a few more are going to make it in the next couple of weeks. I haven't checked in today to see what the status on those are yet, but it's definitely not going to be the full catalog like it is on Fennec. So we are expecting that to be a pain point for some users. At this time, we are still prioritizing support for recommended extensions. And we do not have plans at the moment to talk about supporting the full breadth of extensions for Phoenix. So if folks have any questions, you can feel free to send them to the forum. I'm happy to answer those questions, but just be aware that that's happening. The second thing is that folks will not be able to install extensions on Phoenix from AMO itself. So currently on Fennec, you can go to AMO and install an extension from there. With Phoenix, you're going to have to go into the built-in add-ons manager within the product itself and enable support for one of the recommended extensions that are listed there. If you've already been using one of those extensions that are supported, it should be a pretty seamless process. Like, you should be automatically migrated to the new mobile experience for that particular extension. And then all of your other extensions will be disabled when you migrate to Phoenix. And then the third thing is that because Phoenix has an extremely limited UI, we're not going to do full theme support, or we're not going to do theme support for static themes like you see on AMO, like created by like Madonna or Candelora or Pam or one of our theme authors. Instead, there's going to be 3 kind of pre-canned themes that you can choose from, like light, dark, and I think there's a third one. And so folks will be able to choose those themes, but they're not going to be able to like use a theme that they've created for Firefox Color and apply it to their Phoenix experience. So that might be a pain point too. I'm working with some of the other folks on like Sumo and with the Mozilla reps and other folks who kind of are in community facing roles. We're kind of trying to gather up some intel on what some other potential user pain points might be, and some frequently, and like develop an FAQ that we can enable people who want to help out with comms. Sorry, that didn't make a lot of sense. So for folks who want to be able to help out with comms during the rollout, like particularly our Sumo volunteers, and we want to make sure that we have like a pretty clear and comprehensive FAQ that we can give to those folks, so that they have some good solid answers that they can respond to the community with. But again, if you see questions that you're not 100% sure of, or you think should be handled by somebody else, you can feel free to refer folks over to the forum, or just ping me and I can figure out. I'm sitting in the triage channel right now, so I can escalate that to whoever needs to see it. Any questions about Phoenix? Okay, super cool. Okay, so as for add-on reviewers, so content reviewers and also code reviewers, we just enabled a new feature for delayed rejections. So one thing that we've known for a long time is that it can be a really bad experience for developers who get rejected when they submit their extension to AMO over something that's like a pretty trivial fix, and then they get concerned and you have to go back and change their code. So one thing that we're trying to do is make that experience a little better for folks. Hopefully the experience will be improved, but we're definitely interested in hearing feedback about how it goes. Where if something isn't a pressing legal issue or like an immediate threat, we're asking that reviewers go ahead and select the delayed rejection option on the item that they're reviewing instead of rejecting it right away. So this will give developers 2 weeks to make changes and resubmit. And hopefully that'll get some of those questions addressed without necessarily having to slap them with a rejection. So I'm definitely curious about how this goes in the field. This has been kind of on our radar for a couple of years, and we've just implemented it. We just implemented it last Thursday. So if folks have anything that they want to share about this, please feel free to let us know. We're certainly interested in listening to feedback.
Sounds like a great feature for devs, for sure. That's good.
Thanks. Knock on wood. Hopefully it will be. Yeah. And then the last thing that I wanted to give folks an update about is Extension Workshop. So we've kind of, Stuart has Stuart is our engineering manager. He's single-handedly been working on porting Firefox Extension Workshop over to Eleventy. So Eleventy is going to solve some of the problems that we had with Jekyll, namely the build times under Jekyll were just really horrific and occasionally would break our CI integration. And it was really painful anytime we needed to check out a change on a local build before merging it into the master branch. So this has increased the speed of our local build times, which is awesome. The other thing is that there's a couple of like recipes for Eleventy that address some of our SEO bugs that we had flagged. So things that we needed to fix in order to improve where our site shows up in search engine rankings. So that kind of feeds back into our overarching, like we want to be able to help make sure that add-on developers who are looking
Go.
You not running? Sorry, Sylvain, I'm just going to mute you. Okay, there we go.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's totally fine. So sorry, developers who are looking for help, we're trying to make sure that they land in the right space or the right places, and search engine rankings are a big part of that. So that's one of the things that we've been working on this year with Extension Workshop. The other thing is that porting to Eleventy is hopefully going to make it easier to enable localization implementation. So this is something that I've heard from a couple of community members and that I really want to enable. We have a lot of content on Extension Workshop, and a lot of it doesn't relate to code necessarily, and it's helpful content for anyone who is trying to make their extension successful. So we've kind of identified a couple of things that we want to have once, with our localization solution. And Eleventy should help because it should enable us to remove some of our yuckier, like Java, like our more, like if you're a non-programmer, sometimes coming into extension workshops, code base can be really intimidating because you're not really sure like what little bits of code you actually need to just get the text moving. So with Eleventy, we should be able to enable better markdown support for some of the JavaScript like includes in the Liquid JS, or like the Liquid stuff. So localizers won't have to necessarily encounter as much code as they're making localization updates. So we're still kind of we're a bit of a ways away from being able to enable localization, but we're gonna try to get this represented on our Q4 planning document, which Jorge leads every quarter. We are gonna be starting our Q4 planning pretty soon. So hopefully we can get it on there, and we'll be able to, get this rolling by 2020. We'll see. So those are pretty much the big updates that I have this week. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Okay, cool. Do we have any Android users on the call?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Cool, all right. We'll have to hear about your upgrade experience.
Hopefully.
You probably are. You might already be using the.
Yeah, I'm already nightly since a couple of weeks. So.
Yeah. Totally makes sense. So yeah. Well, cool. Well, I think if there's nothing else, I think I'll probably cut y'all loose. And as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Hang in there, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay, thanks everybody. Take care. Bye.